big weekend of fights is now behind us. Two of the best fights in recent memory. I believe that Gastelum and Adesanya go down as the greatest fight in middleweight history. I will fully admit to a recency bias, but I have that as not only the fight of the year thus far, but one of the best middleweight fights of all time. And I learned so much in this fight. In many ways, I feel that Kelvin Gastelum just showed me how I need to go fight Lyoto Machida. I really thought, he got right in his face. He closed the distance. He dared Adesanya, and it caught Adesanya off guard just a little bit. Kelvin was slipping punches. Kelvin's very hard to hit. We talked about this before the fight. He's very hard to hit. He's got great head movement. He goes up, he goes down, he goes side to side. He sees things coming. He reacts, he counters. He's not as hard to kick. I think that Adesanya had some struggles in there. I think that was a tied-up fight. This is on my unofficial scorecard. Tied-up fight, two apiece, going to the fifth round. This was as close as it gets. Fifth round, Adesanya was able to find a knockdown, followed by another knockdown, another, ultimately 4 knockdowns. He had a 10-8 round. The decision went to the right guy. But I thought as far as the fight went, very impressive and a lot of fun for both guys. Not only did Kelvin get right in his face, not only was he bobbing and weaving and really comfortable in there, he was also digging to the body. And a lot of those shots were very powerful. They were very effective, but they also went under the radar. I don't know that the announce team was able to observe that and comment on it. I don't know if you guys were able to observe and comment. They're very similar to kicks. Kicks really don't get the respect that they deserve. They're just not what judges, even experts, fans, commentators, it's just not what people are looking for. It's a little hard to understand. It's very easy to understand, hit a guy in his face, swell him up, and make him bleed. We understand that. And therefore, that is credited to a higher level. I get that. I don't actually resist it. I'm just pointing out that fact for you. Kelvin was doing some stuff, really getting Adesanya's respect, not letting Adesanya have free shots. Adesanya landed something, Kelvin came back. And it made for a really good contest. The other side of the coin, and that's what we didn't know. We didn't know that Kelvin could go out there, stand in the pocket, and do this well with Adesanya. Now, let's give Adesanya his dues, because there was also some grappling exchanges. There was a lot of double legs, oftentimes up against the fence, where Kelvin should have had a real advantage. And Adesanya was able to work his hips. He was able to get underhooks. He was able to pull out of that. He showed progression as well. I would tell you, when that fight is over, for me, both of their stock went up. I cannot wait to see Kelvin's next fight. I cannot wait to find out who his opponent is. And I have a feeling we are going to see a round robin. I have a real distinct feeling, much like we saw with TJ, Dominic, and Cody Garbrandt, that lasted almost 24 months, almost 2 years, of those guys trying to figure it out, and rematches in every which way, and he beats me, but I can beat him. And I think we're going to see that with Whittaker and Kelvin and Adesanya. And that's a little bit of a premature prediction, but I really do feel that in that division, we've isolated 3 guys that might pass that ball back and forth. The reason I offer that is whenever you're looking at this and you're talking about, okay, well, what's next for Kelvin? That always seems to be the first question, and I'm guilty of it too. What's next for these guys? For Adesanya, we have the answer. It's going to be Whittaker. But what's next for Gastelum? Particularly when he's already fought Jacare, particularly when he's already fought Weidman. I think that it does lend to, hey, let's take a deep breath here. And let's see what happens, because if Whittaker beats Adesanya, Whittaker now needs an opponent. And there's great options. I just gave you 2 of them. Weidman and Jacare, great options. Kelvin's also a very good option, which could feed you right back into an Adesanya rematch. These things happen. These things have happened recently with the example I gave you of TJ and Dominic and Cody. And I think we might really have the final 3 guys. Let's see where that goes. I don't want to dismiss the other guys in the division, but as you do look at the storyline, which was laid out in front of us for the balance of 2019, which is Whittaker and Adesanya, there's something more happening here, okay? Whittaker and Adesanya are going to break every live gate record in the history of the sport. They will do more people in the building, but they will also do it for a higher ticket price, which is going to break the gate records, in my opinion. Right now, the gate record stands Conor McGregor versus Eddie Alvarez at Madison Square Garden, $17.2 million. I believe there is not a building big enough that Dana White can go and reserve in Australia that he cannot fill up. I do not believe a building has ever been resurrected out of brick and mortar that he could book and have an empty seat by the time that fight goes off. Now the question comes, well, how much can you sell those tickets for? Because we saw a really big fight over there, Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm. I think I think 40,000 people showed up the top of my head, maybe even a little bit north of that. But the gate was very low, right? It was just very low. Ronda and Holly didn't belong fighting in Australia. That was just a huge fight for the sport that happened to take place in Australia. Now you've got some homers. Now you've got Adesanya versus Whittaker. They both have a belt. They got a lot on the line. In that part of the world, geographically speaking, this is tremendous. They're both actually from New Zealand, but Whittaker lives in Australia. Adesanya's already laid the groundwork. You are no longer New Zealand. You turned your back on us. You live in Australia. You are now the enemy. Guys, you accept that or don't. I don't really give a damn. I'm telling you, as far as storylines go in that part of the world, that is huge. That is a really big deal. In addition, Adesanya becomes the biggest star in the UFC. Before anybody pushes back, Conor McGregor does not have a license. Khabib does not have a license. I don't know if Khabib would be a bigger star or not. I just offer for you in case you want to put his name in there. He doesn't have a license. Brock Lesnar takes a part-time schedule. Jon Jones is having a very hard time selling right now and has never been the draw that a lot of you argue that he is. Point being, right now, it is Adesanya. And let's go back and compare it to Jon Jones, okay? This isn't Jon Jones's fault. This is a tremendous compliment to Jon Jones that there's just nobody there to fight. Now, the other side of that coin is there used to be. When Jon came through, he had a lot of guys in front of him, perceived legends. All that means is older guys that were established that had good championship runs in them previous to this. So there was always this question mark. And this young up-and-coming, there's a storyline was just always built in. There was fresh blood. There was new guys. There was new challenges. Once Jon passed all of those challenges and those names weren't in front of him, all of a sudden, people were still willing to tune in to witness greatness. But over a period of time, much like what Roy Jones went through, people go, yeah, I'm not interested. There's nothing here to compel me to be interested in. There is no storyline, and I don't want to watch a movie, and I don't want to read a book when I already know how it ends. That isn't fair to Jon, but it's also not a slide on Jon. It's just the reality. It's just the reality. If he's in there with anybody that isn't named Daniel Cormier right now, it's not as interesting. Adesanya could find himself in that same spot, but as of right now, he's as Jon was early in his career, where he's got 5 and 6 and 7 guys that no matter what, any way you want to put them in there, people are going to be compelled to watch. So not only will his next fight break every live gate record that there is, should he win that fight, he will go on to be a pay-per-view star in addition to that. I would argue for you that Adesanya is now the biggest star in the UFC. He would do a bigger gate head-to-head with anybody who is eligible and has a license. Right now, Adesanya is the guy for many different reasons. 1, he's terrific. 2, he's got a terrific style. 3, he always has something to say. 4, he's got an attitude. We are in the entertainment era. The entertainment era and the attitude era are essentially the same thing. He never makes a misstep. I watch him walk out. The arena is buzzing. They're cheering for him. They're happy to see him. There he is. They want to touch him on his way to the ring. He won't touch him. Now, he's happy too. This makes him feel good. Wow, look around. I've made it. I'm going to go fight for a title. Look at all these people that are here to see me. But he stays the course. You paid to see me. You didn't pay to touch me. So take your seat and watch me. Remember what you came here for. It's an attitude. He's not being rude. He's not being a jerk. He's giving you what you want. That's what you want. You want a little mystique around this guy. You want a little mystery around this guy. And he's not willing to bow down to anybody, including Jon Jones. And the second he does bow down to Jon Jones and starts talking, well, Jon's a legend and, it'd be an honor to fight. The second he says that, the gig is up. If he wants to be the king, come in and be the king. And so far, he's doing everything right. Everything is, I watch this guy go, oh, he got it again. Oh, he got that one right too. Oh, look what he did over there. He's doing a great job. But he needs to keep marching to this drum. And soon the people are going to come. The people are going to say, he is the greatest fighter in the UFC. I'm talking about biggest star, biggest draw, most intrigue, most interest, best storyline. That's what I'm talking about. But soon comes the next wave. That Adesanya is the greatest talent in the UFC. Now, all of a sudden, that's going to piss Jon Jones off when that comes. But Jon also went through that same thing. Jon was an up-and-comer. Anderson Silva was ranked number 1. This is just a discussion. Unless them boys want to get in there and fight, we're just going to have to talk about it. We're going to fight it out verbally. So people say, I'm really seeing something special in this Jon Jones guy. But I don't want to be disrespectful to Anderson. Let's keep him at number 1. But I don't know if I really mean that. I don't know if I mean that because this Jon Jones is something special. That same thing is going to happen with Adesanya. And believe me, it pissed Anderson Silva off as John started to take that spot. It's going to piss Jon Jones off, but the dialogue is months away, if not weeks, if not days away from beginning that Adesanya is the greatest talent in the UFC. That is coming. He is coming for John's spot. And when it is only a popular opinion vote and people aren't thrilled to come out and say nice things about Jon Jones because he handles it like an arrogant prick and throws it back in their face, believe me, they're going to be happy to get on the bandwagon, and whoever's perceived to be the best will be the best, unless you can get them together. We had to live through this when it was Matt Hughes and George St. Pierre and Anderson. So make them fight then. How about 15 pounds? Who gives a goddamn? But for some reason, they care. Oh, we can't agree on weight. You can't agree on weight when you're separated by 15 pounds? You gotta be kidding me. Maybe we'll see Adesanya and Jon Jones. Maybe we will. Jon Jones is just so much bigger right now. He's just meaningfully bigger. That it is a little bit different. Adesanya came in underweight. It's a talking point. I don't care. Those guys will go out and fight each other. I'll be on board for it. I'm just sharing with you, it is a little bit different. It's not two guys cutting down and we're left with the mystery of what do they weigh. We know what fight they weighed at, but then we're left with the mystery. But what do they actually weigh? Are these guys actually really close in weight? No, Adesanya, man, he weighed in 2 pounds underweight. He's not even up to the limit. He would be far more likely to go down to 170 if he wanted to do it appropriately, but the draw is to go up to 205 pounds, and Jon Jones doesn't have a dance partner. He does not have anybody in that division that can greatly draw. I think that, as I say that, I think I should correct myself, because I do think, I don't know if you guys would agree with me, but I do believe that Luke Rockhold versus Jon Jones would be of some interest. I think he would just have some name power and there would be something to see there. But the bottom line is Jon is going to be looking for an opponent. And trust me, Mr. Sensitive is not going to love it when the narrative starts, and it's only a number of days away. The narrative is going to start amongst the fans that Adesanya is the greater talent. That's coming. And if you look at the growth of Adesanya, look, on stand-up, yeah, I'll give it to him right now. For sure I would. But Jon Jones is also great at ground and pound. People always underestimate that because he's so dynamic, he's so creative on his feet, people love to see him on his feet. But he's also very effective at taking people down and pounding on them. Adesanya's showing better takedown defense. It's been 1, 2, 3 fights since Adesanya was even taken down, and it has been 4 fights since Adesanya was held down. That all took place over the span of about 15 months. To see an athlete grow, to see an athlete be able to stop takedowns, absolutely stuff them, and never even end up on the ground in only 15 months, that is a remarkable span, remarkably short span of time to make those kind of adjustments. So the storylines really for 2019, we do have some resolution. We do know which way the ship is steering. I think that that's exciting. I think that's very fun.